Okay, good days, learners. You are welcome to our online lessons. And once again, it's your favorite subject, business studies. And this is for Basic 7. It's our week 4 topic we want to look into. And the topic says business letters with display headings. Before we go ahead, recall that in our last class, we talked about business letters. Okay, and at the end of the lesson, we gave an assignment. We said one, we should state the meaning of letterheads, and two, the meaning of display heads. So that will take us to the topic of today. Okay, we are going to look at display headings. And by way of objective, by the end of the lesson, the students will be able to attempt knowing the meaning of letterheads, identify the types of display headings, and three, the meaning of flimsy and carbon paper. All right, we'll start by meaning of letterheads. So, say letterheads are normally used by organizations to write business letters. They are used by organizations to write business letters. Mind you, we have types of letters. We have the business letter, we have the personal letter, we have the application letter, employment letter, agreement and contract letter, and so on and so forth. So we say letterheads are majorly used for business organizations when they are writing letters. And take note, letterheads are different from display headings. Why? Because letterheads contains all relevant information, okay, is captioned on the letterhead. For instance, we have the company's name, we have the company address, we have the phone number, the email, and even website of the company, all included in the letterhead. And letterhead is found at the top of the letter page. Okay, so that's what we mean by letterheads. But on the other hand, we say that display heads, okay, are simply the subject matters of a letter, be it any letter at all, your business letter, your application letter, employment letter, personal letter. A letter should have a subject matter, okay? And that's what we call the display heading. So you can call this, another name for display heading is the subject matter, okay? Or the caption. And we have various types of display headings, okay? And the first one is the main heading. The main heading. So when we say the letter is a display heading, is a main heading, what it means is that you find this heading just below your salutation. Okay, the main heading comes just below the salutation, and it gives a brief idea of the whole write-up, okay, to the reader. And again, it is at the center of the page and underlined, okay, at the end of at the center of the page, and mostly underlined, but you don't have to put a full stop, okay? So that's the main heading. You find it at the center of the page of your letter. Mostly it's written in capital letter. Is also found below your salutation, okay? And there's no full stop attached to it. So let's see the example below. So if you look here very well, you will see reservation. Reservation, okay? That's, you can see that it is at the center of the page and it is underlined. You know, you can use capital letter all through, or at least the first letter should be capitalized. And if you look, it is just below dear manager, just below the salutation, okay, dear manager. So this is what we call the main heading. So having said that, let's go and look into the next one, which is called the subheading. The subheading. So your subheading is usually part of the main heading. Usually part of the main heading. What we mean by that is, most information, okay, laid out in the style of a report. Whether you're writing a report, whether you're writing a newsletter, okay, you always have a main heading, which we have seen. You have the main heading, and mostly it is followed by a subheading. And this subheading is made to introduce the different topic or element of the information. Okay, that means it points out a particular sentence that needs serious attention. Okay, so since it's pointing out a serious um, topic that needs attention, okay, we call that a subheading, because you already have your main heading, which main heading can only be one. Okay, so the next one you have is your subheading. And we say the subheading also allows the reader, okay, to find information relevant to them quickly. Okay, and most times it is usually typed in initial capital letter. Okay, yet you type the first alphabet in capital letter. That's for the subheading. And you can also separate them, okay, by one clear space. It can be separated from the main heading by one clear space. So, having said that, we also have types of this subheading, okay, and they are known as: one, we have the paragraph heading; second one, we have the shoulder heading; we also have things like the side heading. Okay, so having said that, let's look at the sample here of the sub. So as you can see here, we have dear friend, which is salutation, and next to it we have who is the most interesting person in the room. That's a main heading. If you look at this circle, the second circle here, you see wealth and power. Okay, that's showing you that it is a subheading. So having said that, anytime you see that, you cannot say sub. Look at another one. We have here the subject. Like I said, the subject matter: appointment of internal auditor. That's a main heading. The way you down, you see terms and addition. You see it aligned. Okay, it's aligned, and you leave it a space, a line before you start writing it. So this terms and condition is another example of a subheading. So having said that, let's go. We say we can have types of subheading. We say one, we have the paragraph headings. So we all know what paragraph is. That paragraph, okay, is a diff a body of letter that is trying to say something different or related to the previous paragraph. So when we talk about paragraph heading, it is the heading that begins a new paragraph. Okay, a new paragraph. And paragraph heading is a part of the paragraph it belongs to. That means paragraph heading is not to be written on its own, it's not to stand on a different line. Paragraph heading is meant to sit in the same paragraph that it belongs to. Okay, that it belongs to. And it can be typed in small letters with the initial letter in capital letter. And furthermore, you can underscore or underline it to make it outstanding. You can also make it to be bold, okay, and you can put your column. You can put a column, then you leave like a line before you start writing the paragraph. So let's see the example below. So you see, this is a typical paragraph heading. You can see this paragraph heading, the first one says single cell thunderstorms. Okay, you can see that it is bold. Okay, the first letter is in capital. That's the S there in single is capital. Okay, and you see that before, after it, you have a colon. Then you also have a space, a line when you start the paragraph. And you see that it is part of the paragraph. It's not on a different line of its own. Okay, so having said that, that's what we mean by the paragraph heading. Then next, we have what we call the shoulder heading. The shoulder heading. Just like we as human beings, we have our shoulder at the extreme ends of our body. Okay, that's how the shoulder heading is. Okay, so shoulder heading, it stands at the left hand margin. Okay, it stands at the left hand margin. It is on its own. It is on a different line, not the same line like the paragraph heading, not on the same line like the paragraph heading. It stands on its own. Okay, as you can see, it stands on its own before the paragraph. Okay, before the paragraph you're going to write about, it stands on its own. As you can see here, it's very, very clear. It stands, shoulder heading stands on its own at the left margin. Okay, at the left margin. Sometimes you have something like this, you know that it's a paragraph heading. And we say it is either written in small letters, okay, or with the initial letter capitalized and underlined, okay, if you like, to make it outstanding. As we can see, the first letters here are capitalized, problems capitalized, cause is C capitalized, and so on and so forth. So having said that, letter is something like that, know that we are having a paragraph, a shoulder heading, okay, that stands separately on its own at the left hand margin. Then moving forward, we say we have the flimsy papers. Flimsy papers, and we have the carbon paper. Now, flimsy paper, these are thin paper of different colors. They are cheap and cost effective, especially used for making several copies at a time of an article, telegraph dispatch, or the likes, as in newspapers. So, flimsy papers, they are they come in different colors. They are cost effective. They are very cheap, and they are used to make several copies. Okay, like in newspaper firm, they use it to make several copies of newspaper at once. Okay, that what we call the thin paper. It's very thin. Then two, we said the carbon paper. As you know, carbon paper is used to make a duplicate, to make one or more copies of a document. Okay, carbon paper is a thin paper, just like the paper, but it is coated, usually in one same color, coated with color on one part, and we say it is used between the sheets of paper while writing to reflect what has been written on the original document on the duplicate document. I know we are all familiar with carbon papers, okay? So carbon paper is different from flimsy paper in the sense that carbon paper is used to just make one or more copies, okay, of a document simultaneously. But the flimsy paper, okay, is used to mass produce, okay, documents, just like newspapers, okay, and then telegraphic dispatch articles, okay. So it is, and all the documents will be the same. You will know the original copy, no original copy, no duplicate copy. Unlike the counter paper where you have the original copy, you will know it, and you also know the duplicate copy. So having said that, by way of evaluation, we should be able to vividly explain the meaning of letterheads. We should be able to enumerate at least three types of display headings, which I've mentioned about three, and we should also be able to know the meaning of flimsy paper and carbon paper. And here for your assignment, we say vividly differentiate between flimsy paper and carbon paper. Number two, we say what is another name for display headings. And number three, in what ways are the letter heading different from display headings? So having said that, I remain your place study teacher, Mr. Shofoluwe Olisa. Thank you. Send your assignment to my email